All right, guys. So it is getting incredibly creepy and scary and gross and dangerous out there because Trump appears now to be high on his own supply and out over his skis since he captured and kidnapped Nicolas Maduro, the sovereign leader of Venezuela. And now he feels like I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, wherever I want, to whoever I want, and there are no consequences, and I'm going to get away with it. Now, by the way, we're going to talk later on about how they're actually dead wrong even when it comes to Venezuela. That's already backfiring spectacularly. So wait for that segment too, because that's really interesting. But now the sights appear to be set on Greenland. So, there was chatter about this. Trump brought this up after he won the election, by the way. He didn't run on, we're going to steal Greenland, I'm going to own Greenland, it's going to be tremendous. He didn't run on that. Gee, I wonder why, right? But as soon as he got in office, he started talking about it. Everybody's like, ha, 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 he's kidding. Right? Right? Turns out he wasn't. So here we go. We have, he's on Air Force One, and he said the following. Listen.
Have you made a tangible offer to Greenland yet? Have you made an actual offer to Denmark?
But Greenland should make the deal because Greenland does not want to see Russia or China take over.
Okay, so right off the bat, that's a lie. If we don't take it over, Russia or China is going to take it over. You know what that reminds me of? Remember the fat Jewish guy from Brooklyn who went to the West Bank and stole a Palestinian's house? And he goes, what? If I don't take it, somebody else will take it. That's exactly what this is. If I don't take it, Russia or China will take it. No, they're not. That's totally, completely, and utterly made up. But he's running with it.
Don't go there. It's very far away from Greenland. And Greenland, basically, their defense is 2 dog sleds. Do you know that?
He's like, who's going to stop me? Their defense is 2 dog sleds. Who's going to stop me? Funny, because this is the exact same logic that he used when he was raping kids. What are they going to do? How are they going to stop me? I get to do what I want. They can't stop me. Same logic.
You know what their defense is? 2 dog sleds.
He repeated the joke in case you didn't catch it the first time and didn't giggle at it. Because, it's funny to steal countries that are, our allies. Of course, Greenland is part of Denmark. Denmark is the country, but you get the point. You're stealing Greenland. That's funny. That's funny to totally end NATO like that. It's funny to wage war against the EU. It's funny to make enemies out of rock-solid allies like France and Germany and Britain. That's funny. It's funny to do that. It's funny to commit war crimes. It's funny to say the Geneva Conventions and the Nuremberg Tribunals are fucking irrelevant and stupid and in the past. And I'm me, so I get to do whatever I want, wherever I want, to whoever I want. I can steal shit. I can do whatever.
In the meantime, you have Russian destroyers and submarines and China destroyers and submarines all over the place. We're not going to let...
I love how the guy who just illegally overthrew the government of Venezuela to steal their oil is like trying to fearmonger about Russia and China right now. Russia's doing their own illegal and horrific thing by trying to steal Ukraine, of course. But to bring in China into this conversation, they haven't made a move yet on Taiwan. You just overthrew Venezuela. So the biggest warmonger of them all going, I don't know, those guys might be warmongering over there. Oh my God.
In the meantime, are you going
And if it affects NATO, then it affects NATO. But, they need us much more than we need them. I will tell you that right now.
Are you going to increase the amount of military bases?
That's a war that should have never happened with Ukraine.
This is like politics by bumper sticker. He's so old and his brain is fucking pudding now that all he has, it should have never happened. I'm going to end the war in a day. Oh, wait, I didn't do that, but I'm going to end it in a day.
Germany are discussing plans for a joint NATO mission.
Okay, so we're going to get to that in a second, but let me show you this also. Sources say that the policy hawks around Trump, led by Stephen Miller, have been so emboldened by the success of the operation to capture Nicolas Maduro that they want to move quickly to seize Greenland. So, reporting is, it's actually Stephen Miller who might be the hawkish of the hawks. By the way, Ed and Germentum has a great piece on this too. And I didn't know this until he pointed this out. But apparently in the first term, you remember how Trump put around him all these like George W. Bush era neocons? Apparently, the big breakup between them, Trump and the Bush era neocons, is that Trump was more hawkish than the Bush era neocons. And he wanted to do more war and more bombing and more imperialism to the point where it fucking made John Bolton blush. John Bolton, the guy who never met a war he didn't like. Apparently he was like, you're going a little too far there, champ. So that goes to show you now, there's no brakes on the car. Now it's, all bets are off. And if anything, Trump's surrounded by people just as insane as he is. Look at this. Donald Trump has ordered special forces commanders to draft plans for a Greenland invasion. But senior military leaders are pushing back, according to a new Daily Mail report. One source said, quote, they have tried to distract Trump by talking about less controversial measures, think about this, such as intercepting Russian ghost ships, a clandestine network of hundreds of vessels operated by Moscow to evade Western sanctions, or launching a strike on Iran. So they're saying, wait, you're being too crazy, you're being too hawkish. What if we just bombed Iran? What if we just escalated to World War III by seizing Russian ships? Huh? So the right wing of the White House, the far right wing of the White House, the more interventionist, hawkish wing of the White House, they're going, why don't we invade Greenland tomorrow and steal it? And the more dovish wing is going, hold on here, fella, let's just bomb Iran again. We are so cooked, we need a new word for it. The word cooked isn't enough. We are cooked, we are boiled and broiled and fried and barbecued and whatever fucking word you could come up with, that's what we are. Because I've never seen anything this fucking disturbing. Holy shit. Holy shit. And by the way, remember something, guys. Trump has shadow presidents. The shadow presidents are the people who are really running shit most of the time, whereas what he does is he's the public face of the regime, and he defends everything the regime does, but really he's focusing on, redoing the Lincoln bathroom and destroying the East Wing of the White House and building his Epstein Memorial Ballroom and building the Arc de Trump, which he's big on now. So he's doing all this like interior design ass shit. The Trump Kennedy Center, he's focused on that. And then what happens is Stephen Miller will like launch a new war with Trump's approval, and then Trump goes out there and defends it, right? And again, now we know Stephen Miller's like, we should take Greenland. The only way his little fucking wiener can get a hard on is if somebody somewhere is dying a painful and excruciating death. Like the 80-year-old grandma who died in Venezuela when we carpet bombed Caracas so Trump could kidnap Maduro. How about this? Several billionaires have invested in Greenland in the years following President Trump's proposal that the United States could seize control of the island. Ronald Lauder, who first proposed the idea to Trump during his initial term, later invested in several Greenland-based ventures, including a controversial freshwater project and multiple energy initiatives. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Michael Bloomberg, and other investors have also backed Cobalt Metals since 2019. The company employs artificial intelligence to search for rare earth minerals in Greenland, and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman came on board as an investor in 2022. Separately, Palantir co-founder Peter Thiel supported the startup Praxis in early 2021, which has proposed building a high-tech freedom city on the island. So this is exactly, ladies and gentlemen, what we saw with this tiny island in Honduras. The guy that Trump just pardoned, the guy who trafficked $20 billion worth of drugs into this country and Trump pardoned him, the reason Trump pardoned him is because that guy is buddy-buddy with the billionaires. He let the billionaires try to build one of these freedom cities on a little island in Honduras, right? So this is an idea, it's just like the old libertarian idea of seasteading, they called it. Let's create like an autonomous zone, which is like this giant ship that's permanently in the ocean, and they call it seasteading, and they want all their own rules and regulations. They want it to be like corporate autocracies where they have all the control, and they also want to deregulate industry completely, and they also want to allow themselves to do Lord knows what kind of drugs and fuck Lord knows how many underage boys and girls. Like, we are talking about the most hedonistic, depraved people on planet Earth who feel entitled to all the money, all the wealth, all the power, no rules whatsoever. They don't want to be beholden to people in a democracy. They hate the idea of democracy. These are the people who support the idea of the technocracy movement, the technate states of America, where we expand U.S. territory. And so Peter Thiel and his billionaire friends, they want Greenland. In the same way Trump wants Venezuela. Why? For the oil, for the precious metals, for the minerals, for all the natural resources. That's why Trump wants Venezuela. The billionaires also desperately want Greenland for the same reason. You could also they want to build all these fucking data centers up there, all the resource extraction. This is what they're thinking of. They're thinking of getting away from you and me, the fucking annoying slave peasants who believe in democracy, and doing their own thing. That's what this is about. All right, I'm not done. Breaking, British officials have reportedly met with Germany and France to begin preparations for deploying a military force to Greenland, according to the Telegraph. So, in other words, we're now at the point where Europe is waking up. They're waking up and they're realizing, oh shit, this guy's a rabid dog. This guy is insane. There is no reasoning with him. There is no getting through to him. There is no appeal to tradition or international law or allyship or anything like that. And they're going, we need to actually deploy a defensive military force in Greenland to let them know, let the US know, let Trump know. If you attack Greenland, you're also attacking all of Europe. And that's it. All bets are off at that point. And look, I will say, the world absolutely positively needs to step up. I'm fucking waiting for the US to be sanctioned by the world. What more would they have to do for you to get? We are now a rogue state. We are a rogue regime. We are accountable to absolutely nobody. We're being run by criminal, gangster, thug fascists who are the most corrupt people I've ever seen in my life and the most bloodthirsty people. They are creating the Fourth Reich. It's never been more clear. From the oppression at home to the insanely corrupt deals to the warmongering abroad, it is off the charts what we're looking at here. So the world already should be planning behind the back of the U.S. We should be sanctioned. We should be sanctioned. I think eventually the world's going to get off the dollar, at which point the U.S. economy will implode, right? And I think the U.S. needs to be sanctioned, and they need to be brought to its knees. The Trump regime needs to be brought to its knees. That's what needs to happen. And the world needs to make clear, look, we know you have the strongest military in the world. That's great, but we're cutting you off. The globe is cutting you off. And if you want to attack us, you're going to have to attack fucking all of us. Literally every single country. Go ahead. Let's have that be your legacy. You bombed every other country on earth, not named the United States of America. Go ahead. You need to be willing to call Trump's bluff. You need to be willing. He does not respect weakness. He respects strength. He respects somebody who stands up and punches him in the fucking face. That's what he respects. Sweden's largest newspaper, Nordic countries with Sweden in the lead may soon see discussions on the idea of collectively acquiring nuclear weapons as a response to Trump's threats and deteriorating security situation. I'm going to say this as clearly as possible. Every single country should be trying to get nukes now. I've always been in favor of the opposite. I've always been in favor of restricting the number of nukes around the world and eliminating nukes. I think we never should have created this technology. I think it's a fucking cancer. But in a world where you have the leading military superpower completely and utterly unhinged and insane, and we have our nukes, the only way you can guarantee some degree of stability and safety is through game theory for everybody to have the nukes. We have mutually assured destruction across the fucking board. That's the only way. Because clearly, nothing will hold this man back. You know what's interesting? What happened with Libya? Well, he gave up his weapons of mass destruction, Gaddafi did, and then he was sodomized with a bayonet and murdered. What about Saddam Hussein? He didn't have weapons of mass destruction, so they invaded and destroyed his country and killed him. We look at North Korea, what happened there? Nothing. Huh, weird. Why is that? Well, because they have nukes. That's why. They have a nuke. And so we know, hey, if we go after them, they'll launch on Seoul, South Korea, and South Korea will be wiped off the fucking map. So we can't do anything. So the lesson Iran should have learned by now, right? You just got attacked by Israel and the US. You just got attacked by them. That should have been clear to you. Okay, well, now we need a nuke because if we don't have it, they are going to try to complete their regime change. They are going to try to take us out. So the lesson the world is taking away from this is we need nukes. We need nukes for our own safety, for defensive reasons. The U.S. is the rabid dog, is the unhinged one. We are the one that are going on the offense. We are the aggressor. And so the rest of the world, to protect themselves, they need to get nukes. They would be insane not to get nukes. And so that's exactly what they're talking about now. Trump has now woken up the world. But let's see just how awake they are, right? Because if you truly understand the nature of what you're dealing with here, you'd have to go a lot further. So we shall see. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.